Family spiritual training. The boys, they're watching television.
Isn't that kid funny?
Yeah.
Did you see that? Yeah.
Hey boys, what is so funny in here? I can hear you clear from the kitchen.
Yeah, what are you boys watching?
This kid's making fun of his stupid dad.
His stupid dad? Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a good influence for our house.
You know, boys, I see it's on a commercial. Can you mute it there for a minute, Dylan? Come sit on the couch beside of us.
Sure.
I just want to say first that we're glad that you boys would never treat your father in such a way. And you both seem to have the proper view of respect for your father. But let me just ask you, the child on TV, do you think he was showing honor to his dad by what he was doing?
No.
I agree with that too. And you know, I want to commend you too, because I know in real life, you boys wouldn't really treat me that way in the house. But you know, I got to thinking about it. Like on TV or entertainment movies, let me ask you a question. Do you think it's possible that Satan could use things like that in order to undermine the principles that we learned that Jehovah loves?
Yeah, definitely.
He definitely can. In fact, if we're not careful, he can slowly erode at our attitudes. You know, there's actually an illustration I heard once that, let's say you have an iron tool that's painted, and some rust starts to develop underneath the paint. Maybe you can't even see it at first. If that goes undetected, you don't notice that rust, what's going to happen to that iron tool?
It'll deteriorate.
Yeah, it'll start to eat it up.
Sure, it could corrode it and ruin the tool. And so likewise with our hearts. Our hearts is the same way too. Sometimes that rust could develop and might be some time before we even notice it. And same thing with our hearts. Satan could start deteriorating that, and it might go unnoticed by others for quite a while, and all of a sudden our hearts are destroyed. So we have to closely inspect that tool, and likewise our hearts. Sometimes we need to do a little self-examination or examine one another. If we notice that, that's what's going to maintain our Christian loyalty and some of the principles that Jehovah loves. For example, like this respect for parents. Teresa, can you think of a godly principle or maybe a scripture that talks about that?
I love the scripture in Ephesians 6:2-3.
That's a good one. I'll tell you what, we have a Bible right here. Let's look at that godly principle. Maybe, Dylan, we can have you read Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 2. And that's where the godly principle is stated. Let's read that first. Ephesians 6:2.
It says, "Honor your father and your mother, which is the first command with a promise."
So there's the command to honor your father and your mother. But did you notice the latter part of that verse said that it came with a promise? And that promise is listed in verse 3. And Austin, why don't you read that?
It says that it may go well with you and you may endure a long time on the earth.
That's right. It says, if you do that, you're going to be a long time. And how long is a long time? What's it talking about there?
Forever.
That's right. Living forever in paradise. And me and Mom love you boys. We want you to be with us and live forever in paradise. So when we detect something like that may affect us, we're going to bring it to your attention. And you know, we hope you do the same for us, because we got to stick together and show love as a family. In our family arrangement, if we have that stick-togetherness and we're going to point things out like that and keep each other protected, then that's what's going to maintain our Christian integrity on into the new world. You know, I noticed your show's back on. Now, do you think you should continue watching it, or would you like to find something more appropriate?
I think we should watch something else.
Yeah, find something else.
And that makes us real proud, huh, Dad?
Very proud.
Did you notice what brother and sister